Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of First Person, sponsored by the Precision Strip Company in Minster, Ohio. As always, a great place to work. They're always looking for good people to start, to change your career, or to finish it. They're looking for good people. They may look for you. You should check them out online, give them a call, or just follow up with what you see here on First Person. They've sponsored this here for many, many years. They're great stewards of the community and everything good in Auglaize County. Give them a call. Again, the Precision Strip Company in Minster. Those people who read us on a daily basis know that we're writing about Ohio State baseball. The NCAA season starts in exactly 1 week, and we're honored to have the head coach of the Buckeyes today, Bill Mosiello. Bill, thanks for your time. I know there's a lot of people. We've got some questions that people have sent in. Can you ask the coach this? And we're anxious to talk to you.
Awesome, Sonny. Thanks for having me. It's exciting. Obviously, it's an exciting part of the year. I love all parts of the year, but nothing's better than getting ready to start your season and all the the little different thought processes you have. And are we, and the worst thing about being a head coach as opposed to a hitting coach is I've always cared about pitching and knew that we couldn't win if we didn't pitch. Yeah. But when you're going into your seasons, my job was to worry about the offense becoming good. When you're a head coach, if we're swinging it good in our inner squads, that means we can't pitch. And if we're pitching really good, I'm scared to death that we can't hit. And then you're sort of hoping the guy throws a lot of strikes and you hit a line drives that are caught. So you don't mind how many hits there are. But then you look at the scoreboard, hey, it's a 32 game today, so are we pitching really good or we can't hit? And so there's so much involved with the anxiety. So yeah, that's the anxiety starting the year and just being super excited. We can't wait to get this.
You know what they call that? They call that overthinking.
No one's ever charged me of thinking too much, so I'll take the overthinking for the first time.
Maybe not to beat yourself up. One of the things that people have written in a little bit to us already are some very good questions about where the program stands now compared to where it was. I'll call it Mosiello 1.0 and 2.0, where you found it a year ago, because I think we spent a little time last year talking about just how far the program has come in that 12 months. Your assessment?
Yeah, that's hard for me to gauge, and I'm not into throwing anybody under the bus. And the reality is we came into a program that only won 21 games. So that's the reality. It was a program that had won 21 games the year before. Last year I was really disappointed with the year that we only won 31 games. And what I really liked when I got here was just the great kids in the program. That's what I was most proud of, and that had nothing to do with me and our staff. We had great kids in the program. I believe they came from a different reason. We had higher expectations. We're talking about winning national championships. I don't know how much that was done in the 10, 12 previous years to that. I can't speak for what they did. I could just feel that to them, they were accustomed to, hey, a loss isn't that bad, no big deal. Let's try to do a little better. Let's have fun. We're at a great university. Let's just enjoy the ride. So that'd be the things that hopefully the expectations have changed, and with that is pressure. And again, I was so humbled by last year because I really believed I could snap my fingers and we'd win 40 games. That's all I really have known for a long time, and I thought, hey, just play a little bit better and you can do that. And it was so far from the truth. So I was humbled that, man, I need to do a better job in all aspects, and took things for granted, and it made me really appreciate the players and the winning that I'd had in the past. And man, you really appreciate some of those things. But it was never in this program that I took over was not in some dire streets. But it wasn't from a winning standpoint. They hadn't. I don't know when's the last time this program won 40 games, and that's always the barometer to me. If you don't win over 40 games, then you're not a good program.
To that point, Don Moats, who's a gentleman who lives over in Indiana and reads us every day. He's a Buckeye baseball fan, has followed him for years. I think he's in his 80s, and he asked me this, to ask you, the 9-game win streak that we finished up with last year, he said, I wonder how much that momentum carries over to a better start in 2024. Your assessment of that?
Zero. It has nothing to do with last year. It's a complete different team. There is no hey.
No confidence factor.
It's a new team, so I don't know what confidence you could have. A guy could have got 5 hits on the last game of the year, but it doesn't translate into today. So, nothing. It has to do, maybe if you wanted to look at some of the bright spots we had last year, and hey, are they getting better? Obviously, if you win 9 games at the end, then you're playing better baseball. It showed the players didn't quit. They played hard till the end. So, I just don't think it means anything. I think it gives maybe some of the guys, hey, believe in the system if you believe that we can win. But we played so poor in conference at the beginning. I mean, nothing can outdo it. Yeah, we won 9 at the end, but we almost lost 9 at the beginning. So like that,
Yeah.
it just, it was neat to have a win streak. It was neat to win 10 more games than the year before, but it was like at least 10 games less than I thought. So I take nothing into that. I don't think it meant anything.
One of the things you said at your hiring press conference, you said, we're going to hit the ground running. There is no 5-year planning. We're going to flip some things here, and we're going to get after this right now. And he said, we got to recruit. We got to go out and get the talent necessary to make Ohio State a sustainable success in baseball in the Big Ten. So you had a first year of recruiting on your own now. You've had some impressive kids I think I saw in fall baseball. I've been around it a while. I know kids that can play a little bit when I see them. Tell me a little bit about your recruiting the first year.
Yeah, I mean, and it's all of us. Coach C, the recruiting coordinator, he has the headache of having to get all the calls and everything. But Coach Allen and Buck Taylor do a fantastic job, and all of us worked our tail off to try to put in. So we love the class that came in. We have a lot of really good players. It was just more of, when you have a different style of play and what's important to you, and we wanted to become way more defense oriented and more athletic. I wouldn't say we brought in a lot of great runners, and there were some good athletes before, but more of a different mindset. You got to catch the ball first. You got to play winning baseball. You need to know how to bunt. You need to know how to do a lot of different type of things, a different style, a different maybe aptitude, and again, more of them coming in. Like we got some amazing workers. We have some freshmen in this program that have actually changed this program by their work ethic. Last year's group was good workers. They were okay. The returning guys were good workers. That's why I allowed them to come back. But we've had some guys come into this, and early work may start at 1:15, and I can look out it's 11:30 now or 11 something. I can look out in a few minutes. Zach Felstad will be taking ground balls when the early work doesn't start for a few hours. So we've had some freshmen come in to change this whole deal, and some junior college guys, and Will Carpenter, and some guys that I guarantee down Will Carpenter's hitting in the cages right now, and Felstad's right behind him. So we have some kids that the guys that I chose to come here were going to be great workers that came here to win championships. A lot easier said than done after being humbled from last year. The humble pie that I had to eat. I'm still talking championships, it's still the vision, but shut up and let the guys play. Nobody needs to hear what you have to say. And again, also, I won't make that mistake again.
I know you'd spent a lot of time on the West Coast and other parts of the country outside the borders of Ohio, but a lot of people ask me all the time, what's the state of the union over there at Ohio State as to Ohio high school baseball and the talent at hand?
Yeah, I mean, the talent is really, really good. The coaches in Ohio baseball, the high schools are fantastic. The Coaches Association, speaking at their clinic last month, I mean, they're fantastic. It's just, are we getting the top players from Ohio? That's our job, is there's great players. They're filling other rosters around the country and winning. Are we getting the top ones? And that takes some time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm sure if the kid really wanted to be a winning player, why would he choose Ohio State right this moment? Are they showing enough? Are they getting better? We did get some flips on some guys that have committed other places that are in the 25 class that have committed now to us because I think they believe, hey, that is where the 9-game win streak, hey, we finished good, but it's for not. Like I said, I'm so embarrassed in the fact that if I ever had a 9-game win streak at the end of the year, we won a national championship. You don't win finish with a 9-game win streak, and you don't even make your tournament. Now again, the Big Ten tournament's crazy when you only take 6 of 14. There's a lot of leagues that take almost everybody all the time. So I believed our 9 games at the end of the year when we were playing well could have won a tournament, and who knows what it does in a regional. But we didn't earn that right. We knew that there were 6 teams that go. We knew when you got so far behind in the conference and how poorly we did, we got what we deserved. But when you only take 6 of the 14 teams, that's tiny. So again, and that's where, but we are flipping some of these Ohio kids that want to win, because when I talk to them right away, there's 2 things. Number one, getting a degree is never even talked about to me. You're going to get your degree, you're going to kick butt here, that's going to be demanded. But if you don't want to win a national championship or be a Major League Baseball player, don't come here. That's our goals. We want to develop you to be a professional player, which ends up being a major league player, and we want to win national championship. They're not both going to happen all the time, and they are a big vision, but I want guys to have those kind of dreams. And if you can't dream with me, then I don't want you in this program.
Bill Mosiello, the head baseball coach at Ohio State, is our guest this week on First Person, again sponsored by the Precision Strip Company. in Minster, Ohio. Okay, I mentioned a moment, it kicks off a week from today. We collectively are flying to Phoenix to play in Scottsdale in the MLB Classic that you open up with Brigham Young, you open up with Boston College and USC in that opening weekend, maybe not in that particular order, and then you follow that up with Arizona State, Grand Canyon, some really good competition, probably the toughest competition non-conference in the history of the program. Tell me a little bit about what you're thinking, and I think probably national exposure, national recruiting impact, RPI, all those kind of things factor into who you play in that first 3 weeks of the season. Tell me a little bit about why the decision to play who you're playing.
Yeah, they're all a factor. Yeah, I mean, they are all a factor. Number one, we're into giving the kids the best experiences of their lifetime from a baseball standpoint and a life standpoint. So I want to go to different parts of the country. I want to play in great venues. I want to play against the best teams in the country because of our development of players. I believe that's what's going to see what we're made of. Jumping way ahead in the 26th season, we're opening up either in Florida or Puerto Rico. There's a couple things going on with that. And then we go to the University of Florida week 2, Mississippi State week 3, and Ole Miss week 4. So our schedule is only getting better. We're playing against better clubs. We better get really good fast. But I'm not into trying to get, hey, we got to win X amount of games. We need to get better all the time. I don't need any false feelings that, hey, we're hitting 315 as a team when we played average clubs. I've always vowed that when I had my own program, we're going to play an elite competition in different parts of the country to give them an amazing experience. Getting your butt kicked will not be an amazing experience, so we better get good fast.
This early schedule is going to put a lot of focus and a little pressure on your ability to pitch. That was an Achilles heel with this club last year, particularly in the bullpen early. I know people are going to want to hear you say our pitching is significantly better this year. I know you brought in some talented arms.
We did, and our depth is like significantly better. Is the front end to pitch like a Isaiah Coupe, who obviously missed so many 8 starts, so we never saw the real one last year. We had little spurts of it. So maybe not that front end, but we have some really quality, but our depth, and like even to make our 15 guys that are pitching on the road, it's really hard. 3 kids aren't going to be able to go, and they're actually not bad. So we've definitely improved that. And really what happened last year, like this is what we're really hard when you're in a dugout, is when you only have like 5 or 6 quality arms. There's a lot of games you're down by 3 or 4 in the 4th inning, like, okay, well, we can't bring in these 2 guys that are good. So the game gets blown out, like you lose 12-14-3 as opposed to being 7 or 8 to 4 or 5 because you don't have enough depth. So that's where you try to get away from, you're pitching for like, once we don't know we're going to win today, we can't use all of our bullets, or we can't win tomorrow. So like you'll have some horrible, like, how did you lose so bad in that middle? Yeah, because losing 5-4 or losing 15-4 doesn't matter. A loss is a loss. Do we have a chance to win the next day? So we were in a horrible situation. The crazy part is Coach Allen did such a great job with last year's staff from a number standpoint.
Yes,
like the ERA and the rankings was like so much better, but yet it was so horrible to watch, and we pitched so poorly and we played so poorly in so many ways. So, but we're, again, I'm not going to talk about it. I love the group coming in. We have 4 or 5 freshmen that we believe are going to be big impact guys. Again, they're freshmen. Can you have a huge impact immediately?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get to see them, and they're going to get an opportunity. So that's what we're excited about. And again, I want these freshmen to fit. An Arizona State team, where we play 4 games in a row, is a really, really good club. And they can really play offensively. So these freshmen, we're going to see how good they are quickly. And the problem with ours is going to be, if they don't pitch great right away, that we're not going to quit on them, because they're still going to be our guys. And can they keep confidence? And that's what coaching's all about, and the development of that. So
that's the only answer there is really regarding the pitching. You got to pitch, and you got to learn from that experience.
We're going to go for it.
I know people want to know something about a projected lineup. I think you're fairly healthy at this point. Let's talk about some of those position players, the 8 positions on the field. Starting in your outfield, you'll have Lipsy back. You got a significant transfer in center field that came in from LSU, and of course Mitch Oakley in right field.
Yeah, so it'll be a Lipsy in left, Josh Stevenson in center, and Oakley in right. And outfield's a really position of strength for us. The key is for them to play good early and to get all that. And we know the past, and we know that Oakley is a predominantly slower starter, but we don't talk about that. He's been a really nice player here his career, but now he's even way more improved in everything he does. And he's our captain. He's one of our 2 captains. He's an amazing leader. I mean, like when you built a kid that like could exemplify what you want your program to be. Mitchell Oakley is the biggest Buckeye. I mean, he's as good as any player I've ever been around as what it's supposed to look like to be a college player. So we're super excited for him. And then Josh is an amazing kid in the center in Lipsy. We hope he stays healthy early. He had that hamstring last year and the growing, and he had to miss a few games. He came back too early. It snowballed on him, and luckily he played better at the end. But boy, he tried to salvage last year. Last year we put him in some tough predicaments, and we're excited to have him be the real Trey Lipsy that we knew he should be.
Your interior defense may be a real strength for you because, one, for the fact of returners, secondly, for the fact of depth. You recruited well there, and you got a couple of kids who were freshman all-stars last year in the Big Ten in Kazmar and Matt Gravlin, who I think shocked everybody. In fact, one of the other coaches in the league says, that may be, Kazmar may be the most valuable player on that team as a freshman last year. But let's talk about third, short, second, first, and the catching position.
Yeah, Tyler Petterini, he'll start out at third base. He's going to be a little bit of a Swiss Army knife. He can play second base also. He'll get some starts at both. I still can't believe I'm saying this, that he's going to start at third base for our opener. He's become a really solid defender. I had to really challenge him. I really didn't think he had it in him. I didn't think he'd be a good enough defender to ever play here.
And led the team in hitting last year.
Yeah,
in average.
I knew that he could hit, and I still like him as a hitter, but as a defender, again, I'm into playing defense and making our pitching staff better, and I didn't think he could do that. It's been such a credit to him, the work that he's put in, how much better he's got. He's always been a good athlete, he just didn't really show it. So I'm super proud of him as defender. We still got some great competition. He's going to have to go out and play well. Zach Felstad, the freshman, elite worker, elite defender, becoming a better offensive player. He's going to play some third, but he can play short and second, and he can be that Swiss Army knife also. He plays short where Tyler can't do that, but Tyler can play third and second. So there's going to be some moving going on there, but Tyler, I'm just still so proud of the player that he's becoming and the work ethic, and golly, it's fun to watch him. So again, that's why as a coach, you never say never, but I didn't, I told him his situations, and Tyler, man, if you don't get better defensively, you're not going to play here. You sure you want to stay here? He's a Buckeye through and through. He did not want to leave. He proved me wrong as a defender. Now he's going to have to keep proving me wrong and play well in games, but I anticipate that, and if he doesn't, then I've done something wrong to him because he's earned that right. So it gives us some depth right there, and again, we're going to play defense. We're going to get the right guys in to play defense.
I'm not sure you could expect more than what you got from a freshman and from what you got from Kazmar last year at shortstop.
He'll play even better. I don't know numbers. I don't say he's got to have better numbers, but yeah, and you're right. He only made 9 errors last year, but he's become a really good leader to us and getting better every day as a defender, as a baseball player. And his dad did an amazing job with him as a high school coach, and that's why I was able to. He was my first recruit that I got here when I took the job. Everybody told me we have this kid that's committed to Michigan. They have family ties. You have to get this kid. We were super blessed to get him in the first 2 weeks and flip him to come up here. So that was a lucky one for us. And then Matty Gravlin, like you talked about, he was an athlete coming in here. I don't know if anybody knew what they had. I know at this time right now last year, I just, he's got a shot. Who knows what's going to happen with him. He swung the bat so great early. Cole Andrews couldn't play any other positions. Cole got off to a great start offensively. We had to get Gravlin in the lineup, so he played the outfield. He played first. So now it's going to be a primary catcher, but he has the ability to play a lot of first base also, and that'll be determined a lot by how well Mason Eckelman plays behind the plate. He's had a good last few weeks, and we plan on him playing a lot, especially with so many games earlier. But Gravlin will always play first base on the days that he doesn't catch, because I can't have him coming be my DH in case something were to happen, or we're going to pinch run for Mason late in the ball game or something. So Gravlin's a huge part. He gets better every day, and he's turning himself into a top prospect type kid. And again, one day at a time. But we were so blessed to have him in this program before I got here, and I'm glad he's a part of ours.
Going back to what we just talked about, depth, you've got options at second base. You've got some kids there. You mentioned Felstad. You talked about Carp. You talked about some other kids that transferred in. You got some choices that you can make at second and first.
Yeah, so Joseph Mershon, a kid from College of Charleston that we got, he's got a track record, a great baseball player. I mean, a true baseball player, a guy that walked more than he struck out and has a great understanding how to play. He has some arm injuries that aren't going to go away. He opted not to have surgery, so we can't play him every day. That's going to get Tyler to get to play some second base, and if we did that, Tyler will play second, Phil Stat would play third. And then, like you said, with Will Carpenter busting his butt, And Nolan Farley is a freshman that's really coming on, that's really going to be a guy that is a big factor in this program in the future at all three positions. So we have some great depth there, but we're going to have to give Mershon, he's a switch hitter, and we don't have many right-handed hitters, so that's why he was a huge part of us. We had to get a guy that could hit from the right side to be one of our infielders. So he gives us, he really is going to be our starter from day one, but I have to give him some days off because I can't have him play through that arm injury. So. And we're hoping he doesn't, if it gets any worse, he won't be able to play. So we're really lucky that he was toughing it out. He knew, hey, I'm a senior, and I'm not going to get a surgery or I'll miss this season, which I don't want to do. And then, like I said, we have the depth to be able to mask over that, which is really fortunate, and that was by design and a great job of our recruiting.
And then you're going to have some slug at first base, or at least the potential of some slug at first base.
Yeah, it's going to be, Ryan Miller is going to start off as our first baseman, and it's new to him, so he's got to get better.
Transfer from Tennessee.
Transfer from the University of Tennessee, a kid from Dublin, from Kaufman, and we're lucky to have him. And he's an amazing kid, and he got a chance to have big power. But what I like, he's got hit ability. Now, I'm not into just power that can't hit. He's a good hitter with great power. Again, this will be his first year playing every day, so he'll get those opportunities. He's going to have to play well defensively, or he's going to have to DH. And again, I don't ever apologize. If you don't play good defense, you can't be in the lineup every day. At least as a position player, and we do have some depth with that. And Gravelin will play some first base, and we're starting to work Hunter Rawson at some first base because he gives us some great versatility and a right-handed bat. And then Hank Thomas is a first baseman, could be more of a DH, but he's getting better he's getting better right now as a defender. He's working his tail off, but he'd be more in the DH spot. And then Clay Burdett, our freshman, he's not ready to be a defensive player yet, so he's not in the mix at first base. He would be at the mix to have some right-handed at bats and some DH stuff. But really, the first base spot would be Miller, Hank Thomas, Gravelin, and then Rawson, depending on how much he can come in. And we've just converted him this last week because we knew this could be a problem defensively. But I'm hoping Ryan Miller takes it. We're going to give him every opportunity to be that first baseman.
Final question, and maybe the biggest question: who pitches on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Yeah.
I know it's a fluid thing.
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
always going to be fluid. To start the season, we're going to go with Landon Beidelshees. He'll be our Friday night guy. Colin Purcell will be our Saturday guy. And then Sunday will be Gavin Bruni. And those things can always be changed. But we also have Zach Brown, a freshman, and Hunter Shaw, two guys that could be as starters on the weekend, but they help give us some great depth in the bullpen. So early they won't be in that rotation. And then Chase Harrell would be the midweek guy. So he'll be our Tuesday guy. He's a freshman. He's got a chance to be really good. And Zach Brown and Hunter could definitely be any of those spots. But they give us we got to have a good bullpen. We've seen last year what happens when you don't have a good bullpen. And these guys are great team guys. Coach Allen's talked to them, and we've talked to them about, hey, you earn the right to be a starter, and you definitely could be a starter, but it's best for our club. And to a T, all the kids that we've told that to, like, hey, whatever it takes for this clean team. And even Gavin Bruni, he's got Friday night stuff. So you say, Gavin, you're going to actually start the year on Sundays. You don't need to tell me where I'm going to pitch. I'm ready to pitch. And I can't tell you how refreshing, especially in this day and age, when everybody wants to talk about today's kids are entitled and all this. We've got some kids in this program that believe in being a Buckeye, what it matters to be a Buckeye, and they want to help us win. And I don't have to have sleepless nights and worry about poor Gavin. Oh my gosh, I hope he's okay. He's going to start Sunday instead of Friday. I hope his feelings aren't hurt. Man, he just wants the baseball. He can't wait. He knows it's a privilege to get the baseball in our rotation, and we're tickled pink to have kids like that in the program.
Mo's the man. Ohio State Baseball 2024 with Bill Mosiello. Coach, I can't wait to see how this all plays out. And I know I speak for a lot of people out there who read us every day. There's like 200,000 people across the state of Ohio who's interested enough to dial in and see what's going on. We will be there all 56 games this year with Press Pros for Ohio State Baseball. We intend on giving you a good look at it. Let's get started on a good foot next weekend, and thank you for the time.
Thank you, Sonny.
Today this is a lot of fun, and we're all looking forward to it.
Well, we can't tell you how much we appreciate you always being there for us. But this Buckeye Nation, our goal is to make you proud. The alumni, those guys in the 90s and obviously the teams that won the national championship in the 60s, but the group in those 90s and early 2000s that won championships, like I want to make you proud. I came here for one reason, because of when I'd seen that 90s group and the early 2000s group, and I wanted to do those things that Coach Todd had done here, and that's where I'm being so humbled last year and crushed and actually embarrassed, to tell you the truth, but I wasn't embarrassed by the kind of kids that we have on this program, and that's why I'm proud of developing men, and at least we did a good job with that, but we want to win some games for you guys and make this whole community baseball proud.
That's Mosiello 2.0, 2024 Buckeye Baseball. And again, that wraps up this week's edition of First Person, sponsored again by the Precision Strip Company in Minster, Ohio. Great place to start, to change, or finish your career. Check them out. As always, I say this, we appreciate your support of what we do every week, every month, every year, starting our 14th and our 12th of covering Ohio State baseball here next week. Thank you for your support. We'll see you again next time with another edition of First Person. Until then, have a great week, everyone.